everyone. Okay, I'll call Rich County Commission meeting to order. June 3rd, a meeting. First up is the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Lee, would you lead us in that?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Is the agenda good? And Lisa, we all right?
Move to set the agenda as presented to us.
Second.
Okay, motion to set the agenda for today's meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bear River Health Department annual report. Come on up. Limp on up here.
For the record, I fell off a stationary bike, so that's exciting. All right, here you are. Here's our annual report.
Why don't you state your name and
Okay, thank you.
Do we need Trevor? Why don't you come up too?
He's in the minute. You can come up though.
Well, yeah, I mean.
All right, I'm Esty Hunt from the Bear River Health Department. And I just am here to present the annual report. I always like coming and presenting the annual report to show the good work of the Bear River Health Department and our awesome team. So we're actually going to start a little bit different than we do in the past. Instead of turning to the start, we're going to turn to page 8. I'm going to go over the data, and then Jordan's going to talk about some of our strategic areas. So just as you see on page 8 is our leading causes of death for our health district, and then also in comparison to Utah and where we kind of are in that zone. This doesn't change a lot year to year. It stays very, very much the same. One thing I think that does look alarming but needs to be noted is not statistically significant is the kidney disease with the increase of 42.86%. It's like going from 9 to 13 when we're looking at 100,000 people. So this is not anything that people need to be super concerned about. It just actually kidney disease usually goes from 10 to 11 to 12. It kind of goes up and down. So this year we see it on here again, but really it's not something to be super alarmed with. So if you don't have any questions about that, we're just going to move over and keep talking about the rest of the data. Page 9 is just all the demographics divided by district. You can see that there, and we'll turn over to page 10, which is more of our service, the services we provide and the data that is available for this is, let's first look at our individual and family health service area, which includes our nursing and our WIC programs. You'll see just right below the second thing on here is the TB monitoring and follow-ups. I really want you to see that this number is continuing. It's at 124. It was at 123 last year. Patients that are being monitored with TB or being treated with TB take a lot of resources. Active TB monitoring, that person is monitored daily for 9 months. So there's a lot of efforts and monies that actually go into helping this program. And that money, why we wanted to highlight that is because that money is actually county money. We don't get anything with grants or federal state dollars for this. It is county money that supports that program. Much appreciated, as we don't see those numbers decreasing. They just continue to kind of be steady and a very slight increase.
So, Esty, when you say monitor for that period of time, what
does that include?
Yeah, what is it? Do they have to have a test every day?
No, they have to take medication every day.
I see.
And they have to do it in front of a nurse to make sure it's being taken. So, and then there are like these visits that they have to do, right? Am I right? But I do know that they have to be monitored on a daily and a lot of that has become, they can do it video, like they can call in and show that they're actually taking the medication, but they are symptom checked and all those things during that 9-month period. So
it's directly observed
monitoring, so we have to observe that they actually take the medication, and they can do the recording, and then the nurses check that. But the reason for 9 months is if they go off those antibiotics at any time during that 9 months for a period of time, it starts that clock back over. So we got to make sure that they stay on those antibiotics so that they're not contagious in our community and potentially spreading the disease to others in the community. So it is a lot of work. It's gone down with telehealth and things like that, but it is quite time consuming. And as Esty said, in 2023 we had 104, and now we're at 124. So we're continuing to see this number increase and stay pretty steady. So it is quite a bit of a workload.
We have those patients, as you can imagine, kind of become part of the nurses that watch over those individuals. It's kind of a big part. They almost become family. They see each other so much, and they really rely on the health department, which is it's a neat process to see them gain that trust with the health department.
So anybody that has TB, they become our client regardless,
Well,
or is there some that's being monitored out of a doctor's office? I mean, how many of those?
Most of the doctors won't do the directly observed. There's really no money in it.
Yeah.
With regards to some of the treatment and other things like that, they will get their medical care from them, but we do the continued monitoring of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this 124, that's probably a pretty real number of how many people have TB, or
Yeah.
I mean, could it be more than that? I mean, I guess that's what
you have to realize there's two types. There's active and there's latent.
right.
And those with latent are counted here as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is not 9 months, it's 4 months
Uh-huh.
that they're treated. And so you have to, yes, they have tested, but most of these individuals have latent TB.
Okay.
Some of those that are, I think usually there's 2 or 3 that are really active that they're having to do this monitoring with every day.
And we have had conversations about how do we get more healthcare providers in our community to become more confident in their ability to treat or latent TB. And so Dr. Garg, who she's originally from India, has a lot of experience in treating TB. And we've talked about how do we get more providers. It's just not something that regularly comes into an office, so it does take some time. And so we need to figure out how to kind of push that workload a little bit more to primary care providers, hopefully. We just haven't figured it out.
So what's latent? What's the difference between it and active?
When you're latent, you're not at risk of
infectious.
transmitting.
Okay.
They're
Right.
not contagious.
But if you have active TB, then you could pass it on to another individual.
And latent can become active. So.
If not treated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so that money from the counties is really appreciated. It keeps that program afloat, which is really important.
So above that, where we've got our STIs, there's a pretty significant drop from 23 to 25. Is that because we're seeing less come into the health department, or is that a trend that's across the board?
I asked about this, but
What did they tell you?
they don't think it's decreasing.
Good.
It's just less people either getting tested or getting tested with us.
Okay.
But this is a statewide database of,
Yeah.
this is the EpiTrax where the data was pulled from. But
Not
truly,
just our counties.
yeah.
Okay.
But none of the nurses think it's going down. So, we saw a huge increase in STIs during COVID. So might not be bad if we see it go down a little bit after COVID. So that is that, yeah. But let's go down really to the next line, that is the high-risk expectant mothers visited by a BRHD nurse. This program, 2024, last year was kind of an outlier program. So realize that as you look at that, if you go up to 20, because we're again reporting for 2025, we do see an increase from 2023 of nurses that visit these high-risk expectant mothers. Most of these individuals are referred to us by physicians, or they are some of our WIC clients that do come in and they send them over to be visited by a nurse. This is a really important program here at the health department. It does, infant maternal health is something that follows an individual through their lifetime. So you want to make sure as public health, we really take that pretty serious. And so we do have a community health worker that does help promote this program in the community. And where those numbers are a little lower, she knows that, and I think she'll do and put more things out there in the community to let them know this is a service that's offered at the health department. And if you look at the next one, you do see that mothers and babies enrolled has increased that are visited by a Medicaid or visited by a Bear River Health Department nurse, which goes right down to the WIC program on the very bottom. You see WIC numbers are up. The percentage didn't get in there, but there's an increase of 6.2% with WIC people being served in our WIC program this year. And that goes with those that are visited by a BRHD nurse. That program continues to have need, the WIC program, and finally this year there has been funding, federal funding that did show an increase for that program, which is good because that program is consistently used. Jumping back to environmental health, those services are very similar to last year. The ones we reported on there's not a whole lot of change from last year, but they continue to do their job and make sure the places we eat at or visit and septic systems and all those things are up to par. So we appreciate their work. Behavioral health services, you'll see that there was a huge increase in those seeking mental health services with the Bear River Health Department this last year, almost a 200% change. The biggest thing I want to note here is the percentage of increase from abstinence from alcohol and drugs from the beginning of treatment to the end of treatment goes up 80%. So showing the importance of treatment and how that program actually does help so many individuals. Our community health services down here at the bottom, we're just mostly highlighting some of the main programs that you do see a big change in. Our tobacco retailers that were compliant this year did have an increase of 4%, which is awesome, making sure that the tobacco is not sold to minors and is being compliant with what law says.
I would have thought that would be everybody, 100%.
Well, they do sell.
Non-compliance is just being caught selling, not asking for
to a
ID.
minor.
Yeah, to a minor.
Yeah.
So they have to actually complete the transaction with the minor.
But looking at 2023, that's only 90% in 2023. So we're glad to see that increasing.
Yeah.
Definitely not something we want to have happen.
Does not asking for ID constitute non-compliance too? Like are they legally required to ask for ID? Or,
No, they could just refuse to sell.
okay.
If they're like, you're too young.
I think it's if they sell.
So the two options are don't sell or ask for ID, and sell if they're over.
Yeah, most of the time they're not asking. I used to conduct over here in Rich County 22 years ago. I did
Back when
compliance
you
checks.
were young, you went in and tried to buy. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was only 10 then, so it was perfect. As an underage buyer. No, and I think that's a big increase, even though it's 4%. Like, I think it's awesome that we are having less people sell, and being aware of that situation is big. So
Well, it's, there's some consequences if they do sell. I mean, that's one thing about it. They're, the business suffers some consequences.
yeah,
And they're pretty diligent about making sure that their employees understand that it's a big deal. It's far less you know, you're far better off to turn somebody down and have them even be legal than you are to sell it to them and
Yeah.
have them not be legal, so.
Yep. Okay.
I had to laugh because there was an establishment that was, I don't know that they sold alcohol, or I think it was alcohol that they sold, and it was an underage minor. And they, so the business put on the front door, said, we are in alcohol jail. We are not allowed to sell any alcohol for 3 weeks or something. I can't remember. I thought it was kind of interesting. We're in alcohol jail.
That's funny. Maybe we should put that on the ones that are in tobacco jail. Let's just turn it over. I think you can see our mission, our vision, our values there, and our Board of Health right there with our own Commissioner Cox right there's picture, who hasn't aged a bit since.
Picture was
He hasn't
40 years ago.
He hasn't aged a bit since 40 years ago. But any questions? No mustache. Any questions on the data? If not, we're gonna move to page 7 now. And we're gonna go backwards in this. We're talking about our strategic goals. Typically, when we outline this book, we highlight a story for each strategic goal, and the healthiest people goal that we wanted to talk about goes right along with our data. Public health has been known for having not a great way to display their data, and the Bear River Health Department this past year was able to work with the CDC Foundation, and with the help of the CDC Foundation, we have been able to have a dashboard created that shows more real live data to the community, to lawmakers, to anybody who wants to visit it. You can visit it by going to that QR code. It will take you right there. The dashboard is outlined in all of our 4 strategic goals, and shows the work that's being done and how we're trending across the community that we work in. So really interesting. I encourage you to take a look at that. It's still being updated. So this is kind of it's not 100% done, but we continue to work with the CDC Foundation to get that completed. Because of the work that has been done in this project, different local health departments along the state are looking to do the same thing because of what it's produced for us and what you'll see when you go to that page. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jordan and let him talk about the other strategic areas.
Yeah, so we get to healthiest people by creating access to opportunities, which is our other strategic priority. And the one thing that we wanted to highlight was our staff has been really great at looking for opportunities. And one of those came in the form of a suicide prevention grant for our area. And they applied for that and were able to get a 5-year grant that comes to the health department. That helped us in developing, working with local agencies to develop a suicide prevention strategic plan. Part of that, and we're the first jurisdiction in the state, outside of the state agency, to conduct what's called a suicide fatality review. So in conjunction with the medical examiner's office, members of the community come together and they review the unfortunate occurrence of suicides that exist in our communities. And they look at that and they try to see, was there an opportunity for us to try to prevent this? They look at it in the lens of saying, what can we put in place that might prevent these things from happening in our community again? And so we've been doing that for just over a year. And that's part of the thing that's supported by that grant, is our continued participation in that suicide fatality review. And I think it's also reflective, if you look at the data. I'm going to jump you back to page 8. If you look at suicide is is the 10th or 9th leading cause of death in our area. But if you look at that arrow, we're while the state is on an increase in suicide and fatality, we're on a decrease right now in our area. And we're hopeful that our continued work in that area can continue to see that go down. And just like in suicide, we create partnerships for us to bring this work together, which leads us to page 4, which is community partnerships really are the thing that lead to creating access to opportunities in our community. And I'll highlight really quickly what this story is all about. You see there in the picture, there's Johanna Vernon, who's on our board. She's a pediatrician, and Dr. Garg, who is our medical advisor. And we have Angie White, our disease investigator. And then I can't remember her name from the state, but somebody from the Department of Health and Human Services. We got a call regarding measles exposure in the Budge Clinic over in Logan. And it, as somebody with active measles, went into this clinic and sat in the waiting room with a bunch of other families and young kids and for quite a while waiting to be seen. And it turned out that they had measles. And we realized that we had a lot of exposure. And so we worked with Intermountain and we found out, well, how many of those individuals that were in there were not vaccinated? And there were 11 that were under the age of 1 that could not receive the vaccine, so very vulnerable. There's only one option to try to protect those individuals, and it's the administration of immunoglobulin. And you have to do that within a certain window, and we had about a day and a half for us by the time we found out about it to be able to administer that. Through our partnership with Intermountain Healthcare and the State Health Department, we were able to get a hold of all those individuals and arrange for a time for them to come in and get the immunoglobulin. We were able to get the immunoglobulin from the state, have it brought up from Salt Lake, and those 2 pediatricians were able to administer 9 of those, and 2 of the 11 had to go over to the ER because they were too big. They needed to have it administered via an IV. So we weren't able to do that, but we were able to get them in, and I was able to be there, and every single one of those parents were super, super grateful.
Wow.
A little frustrated that they had to come in and do that, but super grateful that opportunity was provided to them to hopefully not have their children develop measles. And so that was the story that we wanted to share with you. It was really a rapid response, something that we could not have done without the partnership that we have with healthcare and with the State Health Department.
That story went national. It was in the New England Journal of Medicine and in People magazine. Like
Nice.
It was kind of a big deal for the little health department.
Yeah, that's
In fact, it ran when we were at Nalvo, Commissioner Cox. One of the gals said she saw it in Minnesota on their TV. So
I had,
and
I had
also
2 daughters that had infants when that was all going on, and they wouldn't even go to Logan for groceries or anything because they had their 2
Babies.
babies. They'd heard it was in Logan, and they wouldn't go. I thought, you won't run into that, but apparently you will.
Yep.
At the core, in order for us to create community partnerships, we have to have great individuals who make up our organization, and we do as an organization. We have great individuals, and that's the other part of our strategic priority is building a great organization. And I just want to highlight a couple things. We've been focused on doing regular gathering data from our own workforce, and over the period that we've been doing that, 87% of our team members report feeling part of a team. They come to work, they feel like they're part of a team, they feel like they make a difference. And then we have 95% of our staff who report knowing what they need to do to succeed in their role. And then the other thing that I'm particularly proud of is that 80% of people realize that as an organization, we prioritize people, that the people we realize are the key to the success of us as an organization. You can look at a little bit at our financials, which is another key indicator of being a great organization, being fiscally responsible. Our budget is about 15 million, was what we budgeted for our revenue, and we expended about $15 million. I do want to bring to your attention that next year this will jump by about $10 million. It doesn't mean that we saw a massive increase. It means that all the money for behavioral health services are now flowing through the health department, and they will go from us primarily to Bear River Mental Health for the delivery of those services, but they will be accounted for and audited in our budget. So we will see that overall increase. And with that, if you don't have any other questions on our annual report, we can move into the conversation about the substance abuse and mental health area plan.
We're good.
All right. Well,
It's a good report.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not great, but it's good. I'm teasing, by the way.
noted.
I'll work on that.
I don't have any specific feedback. Just
Okay,
that's
thanks.
just
Thanks
it.
for that.
So the only specific feedback, and I hate to even say this, is we probably need to update the
Your picture. Well, here's the thing. For the record, I have asked multiple times for you to have a new picture.
Come on, Bill, fork it out.
That's just now on public record. So maybe we can take a photo next time we're together.
Just run it through AI. It's
Look
gonna
at
take
how
a look
mad he
over.
is at me.
multiple times.
I think you look great in here.
For a 20-year-old.
We'll get a picture of you next time, Bill.
Okay.
I got a new camera.
Oh, you do? Okay, that's good.
So it'll not
Lee's
50 years up.
lost a lot of weight since then too.
a lot.
That's what a data center will do to you.
No kidding. Hey.
So the substance use and mental health area plan is something that each of the counties need to approve. I'm going to let Trevor talk a little bit about what that plan is, but then we would need a formal vote from you all as a commission to approve that plan. I will let you know that we did take this plan through a public hearing at the Board of Health meeting. We did not receive any information or input from the public, and so the Board of Health put forth a recommendation to the counties to consider approving the plan. So
The area plan comes through statute, through the DHHS and through the Office of Substance Use and Mental Health. So there's a statutory framework for them to get the plan to the local mental health authorities, which are the counties, and then to kind of give a template. And then the counties have to approve it by statute as well, and say that the plan as is written is approved by the counties. I believe Jordan sent you guys the plan. It's 84 pages long. It goes through essentially the mandated services, how we provide those services. Bill can remember this probably. We used to have to do a budget with it. There still is, but we used to have the budget within the plan as well. So that's all there. It's 84 pages. I trust every county commissioner and council person has read it before I come.
Totally.
But it outlines the services we provide, what the state requires, and then as the county, you guys approve that plan as written. It's a pretty short overview. There's probably more interesting things going on with integration of substance use and mental health right now with the employees from the health department coming to Bear River Mental Health. We're going to change our name to Bear River Behavioral Health, where we're the only counties in the whole state that didn't have mental health and mental health and substance use together. So that'll take effect July 1st. We'll capitate the substance use side as well, and which will be beneficial. Again, we're the 3 counties in the state that hasn't had that for years. And then we're having the receiving center come on board on July 1st is our hope. If the construction goes well, we're having a ribbon cutting. You guys are invited. We'll send you a formal invite here in the next, probably tomorrow, but it's June 24th at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you want to come down to that, Senator Wilson's going to speak at it. I'll say a few words. Our board chair will. Gail Godfrey, Bill knows Gail, but, and then I think maybe Representative Ewison might come up. I'd heard through the grapevine, well, I'd heard that he really wanted to speak at it, so I called him and he acted like he had no clue what he was talking about. So he may or may not be there. But we'll do a tour, and
What's the address of that?
it's 1980 North, 200 West. It's right behind, it used to be Murdoch Chevrolet, now it's, no, it used to be Axtell, now it's Murdoch.
Oh,
It's right there. So I know Rich County, depends on if law enforcement wants to transport them there, but it's for the 3 counties. Cache County's picked based off of the call volume we have with the mobile crisis outreach team, and also location kind of between the 3 counties.
so
So
I know we've had several cases where if they can take them there, it'll be a good thing for us. You know, I mean, by the time they transport over there and they spend some time there in the hospital, whatever it is, I mean, it takes an officer out of the county for sometimes 6-8 hours, so.
yeah,
Or, I'm sure we'll be happy to use the center, so, and it'll get the individual the services they need, that's the important part is getting them where they need to go, so.
Need the
Yeah,
help.
so-
A lot of times we haul them in the ambulance and they beat us home almost.
Yeah,
When we go to
Right.
the hospital. And
so we'll have a
Great.
police entrance, so a little bit more discreet. People can't see it as well. It's on the north side. Police officers bring them in. I forgot to tell Sheriff Stacy this, but we'll have food for the officers when they show up, just to thank you. And
Nice.
if they're hungry, grab some before they leave. But so just on another note, Sheriff Stacy, I know, met with our MCOT supervisor yesterday. I think there's some frustrations with MCOT, and I think it's because 988, everybody believes 988 is MCOT, and they weren't routing the real MCOT team up here. And so I know we're giving Sheriff Stacy the direct number to our MCOT team, so he can bypass 988 if he wants to. So that
I
should.
know there's some frustration there, so that's good.
Other than that, that's pretty much the area plan, unless you have some questions on it. It's a pretty, like I said, if you want to read all of it, it's pretty self-explanatory. The state dictates kind of what we have to write to. They also approve it. It's kind of contrary to what the statute reads, but it's really the counties that approve it, and that's what triggers their approval is the counties.
Well, we appreciate your work and I'm so glad you're getting a place there and get it going.
Yeah, it'll be good.
That's at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, June 24th.
Great. Yeah, that's been a long time coming, and we're fortunate to have it in this end of the state for the 3 counties. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
That's exciting stuff. So
Okay, got a motion?
I would make a motion that we approve the annual Bear River Health Department report for 2025.
Okay, second that.
Got a motion, a second, all in favor, say aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then, did we need something, a different motion?
Motion on the area plan.
Yeah, I would make a motion that we approve the area plan for Rich County for our mental health services.
Okay, second.
Okay, moving second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
You guys are awesome.
Anything we can do for you?
No.
When I have a nervous breakdown, just be there for me. Thanks for driving over.
Thank you.
See ya.
You're feeling better.
I know, right? I'll be fine. I'm just not gonna,
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, thank you.
not gonna.
Jordan, you're awesome.
Trevor, you're just right at home here, buddy.
I know, I was here yesterday. Got some candy cake
You get to look and see just exactly what everybody else is seeing.
Right. All right, see you guys.
Thanks.
See ya, thank you. Was Jeanie coming in or calling or?
I thought so, but typically she hasn't in the past, so there's a letter.
Oh, we have a letter in here.
Yeah, so the conservation district has requested a donation for them. And they have a letter that they provided where they've done some funding assistance for some local GIP programs, which is the grazing improvement programs, and then also they've got some pieces of equipment that's available for some pivot track closing and a no-till drill. There's a chain harrow, a weed sprayer, and also a seed broadcaster that's available to be used by the producers in the area. So
How do producers use that? Just if they were to ask us.
they just contact the district.
Okay.
And it's usually free, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's a cost.
Is there?
There's a cost, and it's so much per acre, but it's fairly minimal. I've used the no-till drill a couple of different times, and I don't remember, but it's you know, they're pretty expensive pieces of equipment, and so they do charge I think a rental fee on it just for maintenance and upkeep. Now, I think as far as the ATV, I think it depends on the piece of equipment too.
Yeah.
Let me just put it that way. I don't think there's, well, I don't know. We'd have to ask them, but so they're involved with you know, with our county on lots of different levels. And so I think in the past we've given them a contribution of about $2,500, in which they match money with and get it out to good projects that are beneficial for conservation purposes and for grazing purposes and for agriculture in general. So I would make a motion that we go ahead and make a contribution of $2,500 to the Rich County Conservation District.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Randall Knight.
So he asked if we would call him. He wasn't able to be here, but his phone won't accept calls from here, so we're just gonna use my cell.
It won't accept calls.
But I don't know the number to give him, so he can put it in his system to accept it. I said I would just use my phone. I didn't have the number handy when I needed it.
On top of the phone.
Hello.
Hello, Randall. How you doing?
Good.
Good. This is Sim Weston from the commission.
Yeah, it didn't sound like Annalisa.
Well, maybe she's got a cold.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for calling me. Appreciate it. I wanted to talk to you guys about what's going on with the new lot that the fire department bought. And as you know, I'm looking for money to help get dirt brought in for that site. We got to build it up 3 feet. And a bid that I got a couple of years ago was over $100,000, so it's probably more than that now. So I've been talking to Bragg and found out that maybe they have some grant money that they could use to help. Have you guys had any experience with Bragg and getting grants?
Well, it would be CDBG grant money, so it's actually not, I mean, it's turned over to, it's federal grant money and it's turned over to Bragg, and then we'd submit an application to Bragg for some of that funding. So yes, we're experienced with applying for some CDG funds.
Okay.
There's been several of the communities that have, applied for funds in the past and have got some.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they also have funds that are available for building fire stations. So maybe I'd be going back to them later on for some money to start putting a couple of bays out there to have trucks stationed out there naturally, and have some extra PPE so guys can just go out there and get their gear on and go to the fire. So that's the plan for the future. So what I read in the application requirement is I have to take a training class on how to apply, fill out the paperwork, and I need to be, like you said, have a sponsor from an elected official, and I thought that would maybe be Annalisa, and she could attend that meeting with me as well if that's required.
So the sponsor, you could be the sponsor, the fire district could be the sponsor. The reason you have to have a sponsor, it has to be someone, it has to be a government agency. Let me just put it that way. But as a fire district, you would be eligible just to be the sponsor for the project, I think, Randall.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop in to Bragg today and hopefully meet with, I think the lady's name is Stephanie, if I remember right. Because reading the application, you almost have to be a lawyer to figure out what they're saying. So
yeah,
I'll get clarification on that. But that was the main thing I wanted to discuss. And they said that training would be probably there in Randolph for Rich County. So it wouldn't be that we'd have to come back to Logan for the training.
Yeah, they'll have a training either in Randolph or in Garden City. It depends on where the applications are. They've done them both places, so it may be Randolph, it may be here in the courthouse. I think last year it was actually in the city offices over there. So we can find out when that it's called the how to apply training. And they want you to go through that so that you understand how to prepare the information and understand what the information is that's going to be required for, the application to be eligible for funding. So it's a good training to go through to understand the hoops you got to go through to prepare the application and what the money could be used for.
Yeah, okay, yep. Okay, well, I just want to let you guys know what's going on, and if you can give me any help or assistance, I appreciate it, and I'll keep you informed of any progress or hurdles that I'm trying to get over.
Okay, and if in fact the fire district can't be a sponsor, I'm sure that we could, the county would be a sponsor for the fire district.
Yeah, that's what I figured where I'm under you guys.
Yeah. So, either way, as we've reviewed those applications, you just have to be a government agency, which you are, you're, so it would be fine.
Okay, well, I'll go and meet face to face with the boss and see what she comes up with and get back.
Okay, sounds good.
What kind What kind of dirt are you looking for? Is it gotta be gravel or just dirt?
It's gonna be a mixture. I just want clean dirt surrounding where the building will be built, but I'd have to have gravel, I understand, where the building's gonna be built to meet the compaction requirement.
Oh, yeah. I know
That's what Rick Thomas told me anyway.
I know there's a lot of dirt there from the wetlands that Kent has stored on his place. It wouldn't be far from where you're at, but I don't know if it would meet the criteria.
Well, like I said, I've got a 1.3 acre that we got to build up 3 feet. So it take a lot of dirt out around where the building would be, and I'm estimating the building to be similar in size as the one that we have now. So like 50 by 100 and some odd feet long.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All righty.
And I'd have that staked off, and that's where I'd want to have gravel put in,
Okay.
or pit run, or whatever you call it, to meet the compaction required. And I get that information from the building inspector for Rich County, but also Rick Thomas or Bart McKenna. They're the ones that have been talking about providing culverts and dirt.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Okay. Anything else from you guys? Any questions?
No, looks like we're good. Appreciate you giving us an update on it.
Okay, thanks for the call.
Good luck in Logan.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, Brandon. State your name and everything for.
Brandon Round, Rich County Road Supervisor. First off, we got bids for the pavement on Sweetwater Parkway, or Sweetwater Park Drive.
Where you fixed the holes?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna put 4 inches of overlay on it. I don't know if you want me to read you the numbers or you guys want to look at it, but consolidated considerably lower than the other 2 bids on that.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Still as good, huh?
It's all bid, but the same asphalt and just 4-inch overlay.
Jeremiah Falsev, is he related to our basketball player from Utah State?
Yeah,
Is he?
I think so. I'm not sure.
It's a snow job.
Yeah.
He's the one that did our work.
You guys don't have to work anymore.
No, you
Yeah.
don't need a summer job.
And these 2 are from 3H Paving. He gave us 2 bids, one bringing that material from Logan and one on the new asphalt plant that's going out the gap.
Curious to see what the difference is.
It's actually surprising his bid is more money for the one in Garden City.
Really?
Yeah. I think the material's gonna cost more.
65. So
Yeah.
that's-
It's hard.
One's 119 and the others are 3 and 4.
Well, it'll be with his, to move his equipment over here, be another 5,000, so it'll be about 125.
His mobilization.
Mobile.
Oh,
There's 4 bids, the 2, 3H, and then is that top job's a different one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, I was looking at that top job. I just wondered if we're talking about the same distances. That's,
Oh, the same quantities, like square footage?
Yeah, or distances.
He has square footage listed, that's it. Yeah, cause how could he be that much?
I don't
less?
know how their square footage can be off that much. But
Maybe I'll look right here.
So it's 5,080 long by 22 wide.
that's an average. Some of it's 18, some of it's 23.
Okay. So he's saying it's going to be about 38,000 ton. But I don't know.
38,000 ton? These guys have 2,900. 12,775 square feet.
Okay, so let's look at this again. 5280.
How long is it?
It's right at about a mile.
A mile by 18-ish feet.
Well, it averages 22.
Okay. Let's see here.
Okay, so basically 116, 616.
Yeah, that would be 100.
And he's got 100 and they estimated 112.
And I have 114.
And I got 100. He's got 114.
Yeah, but I just did 5,200 feet. I can't remember what a mile is.
Well,
56, 50,
and
5280.
and Jeremiah's or consolidated bid 116,160. So they actually have bid more square feet than.
Well, geez.
And still just a little lower. So
Sounds like we ought to give them the deal.
well, based on the fact that they've all turned the bid in, they all know what the project is. I would make a motion that we award the bid for Sweetwater Parkway. No,
Sweetwater
Drive.
Sweetwater Park Drive.
Can we change the name at the same time that you're doing that bid?
To consolidate paving out of Bowden.
Okay, second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Right,
Brandon, when do you think they're going to start doing that?
middle of July.
Yeah, we can probably get somebody who's in July,
Okay.
or end of July.
Makes me a little nervous that they're so much cheaper. So I guess we'll just have to watch and.
Well, I was gonna see, I've been trying to fill them and put that stuff over myself, the mastic,
Yeah.
to prepare them first. But we might have to hire somebody to come in and finish that because I'm shorthanded and I can't get it done.
Yeah.
And then one's on the east, or not east, the west side of it, the west-south end. They're
Yeah,
getting,
it's really skinny. That.
yeah, around the hill, they're horrible again. And it's not the patch we're putting in, it's just every time it rains, it continues breaking in front of them or off to the side of them.
Yeah.
And we just went and put 3 pallets of cold mix in them a month ago. But
And it was a Band-Aid and it didn't last very long.
no,
I guess if there are sections like that that need to be fixed, yep, we can do that before the 4 inches laid out. If he's moving and he sees a spot that
yeah,
needs.
what I'd like to do is just get a skin patch, and talking to Jeremiah, that he said he was already planning on doing some of that
Okay.
before he laid asphalt.
Yeah, I'd hate to put it on top of some of that. You know what you're doing.
Right. And then also the bridge failure, I guess we'll just talk a little bit more about it. Rick's got a culvert coming, we have one 6 foot that we got from the North Eden project. And it's really good shape. So we'll get them two, and that should give us long enough as we need to get funding. Or maybe it'll be permanent, but here's some pictures of the bridge if you guys would like to look at them. They both
I can look at
and, yeah. And right there on the bottom, it actually states what the abutments moved.
Oh, no.
So you need to get to the picture that happened when the inspectors were there.
Yeah, you can see it twisting. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. There's another one that shows even better.
Simon.
Yeah, so it's on the same road as where the new bridge is?
No,
No.
that's down going to Steve Wilson's.
Okay, I got
On
it.
Sterling Lane.
Yeah.
Down by the junction. Yeah, new deck on an old board.
Yeah. What, it just blew out.
Can we just lift it up, put a board underneath there?
Timber.
Mm-hmm.
We might could if the abutments weren't going out,
Yeah.
but that's the problem. Or, well, that's what's causing the board timbers to break. There you go.
Yikes.
Is this cement
Yes. And it's,
slid away?
yeah, you can see how the bottom, or these are kicking it, it's broken away. So the traffic's just gonna keep pounding it down.
So they were they were poured in 1952.
Hmm.
You're commissioner then?
He wasn't born.
1952 is a long time.
Is this hail?
That's the snow.
What's that?
Well, it went, this was condemned after the snow melted. Is this hail?
I don't think so.
Indians.
I think it was that day that we had that storm.
Oh, yeah,
We had
there's
that little snowstorm.
there is snow there.
That was the day they were inspecting it, and they had to come back and,
I'll come back later.
yeah, well.
So what do they do?
This is the one that broke when they were there. And they watched it.
So is there a bypass that
No,
they'll just have to be careful, huh?
Steve's just, right now, he informed me that he's, well, Josie did, that they're parked side by side on the other side and they're just driving it. Luckily, they got all their cows out, but one load and I was able to trail them up, so.
It's too bad there's not like a patch bridge that you can throw down, just a big long one that
Yeah.
Yeah.
sits 20 feet on
well,
each side.
the worst of it is they just turned the water in the day before yesterday. So
Yeah.
now you're gonna have water to deal with.
For a few days.
Yeah, but it's only 10, so.
And Steve said he was good doing what he's doing until we can get ready to do it, so.
Well, it's a small enough bridge too that it's almost like, if it,
21 feet wide is that's how far it is.
Yeah.
that wouldn't be super expensive, would it, if we didn't have to wait? Is there a process for us doing it and getting reimbursed, or do we get to
No,
be declared first?
no, well, it's declared and we can decide whether the 2 culverts are gonna be sufficient or whether we wanna go back and cause it'll be on the list.
Yeah,
The bottom line is it'll be on the list.
so we could do the 2 culverts like we did at Hatch.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then come back and try to get some funding for it.
Yeah, okay.
And then let's have Brandon pull the culverts out when he's done. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have him do that this time.
So we don't destroy them.
Brand new culverts.
Anyway. All
All
right,
right.
well, look forward to that.
And then there was one other little thing, I got this, I forwarded the email to you. I didn't know what it meant. I guess there was a change order on some of the bridges we did do.
Right, so all we
On
need
the
to do is
fence post?
just send them a letter that, yeah, they changed from T-post
Right.
to wood posts. And I think they all look really great, and
Yeah, they
it
do.
was already talked to The landowners were talked to about it. You know, were they okay with that? And they all were. So we just need to send them a letter that we are in approval of the change order to do that. And Annalisa can draft you a letter. All they just need to do is a verification that the county has accepted the change.
I knew that
order.
we'd already changed it, but I
Yeah.
just didn't know what we needed to send back.
When they were doing it, they talked to all the landowners about, was it okay? And they were all happy. In fact, a couple of the landowners wanted the fencers to go on down their fences, and it's kind of like, not today. So that's what that's about.
Okay.
So, and Lisa's kind of busy, but either that or John can help you, but we just need a letter with our letterhead just saying
And
we
then get
approve the change order.
Annalisa tomorrow or something.
Yeah, and then just email it to Nick.
And then these are the certificates for Casey and Dustin.
Okay, great.
If you guys want to look over them to maybe give them a little bit of a performance raise.
Okay.
Copies for you guys.
Okay.
I'll take these back to them.
Good.
And yeah, that's all I have. Yes.
Okay,
Well, thank you.
Yep.
get a hold of Jeremiah, tell him to get on that.
Yeah, I will.
Tell him there's a bonus of a raspberry shake if you can get that done by the,
By the 24th?
yeah.
Okay, do you want me to contact the ones that didn't get the bid, or do you guys want to do that?
No, you do that.
Then I guess one other thing, are we gonna post my job or?
Well, we're in discussion about what we're gonna do with sanitation. We're gonna probably post that one today. And we'll kind of see there. Let's, yeah, one way or the other, we gotta get you somebody for the summer. So whether that will be a permanent job or whether it'll be a seasonal job, I don't know. We'll have to have a discussion about that. So we'll, excuse me, we'll have that discussion with basically our attorney and see what his thoughts are on the whole thing.
I love that these guys are being trained on
Yeah,
roadway drainage.
awesome.
Yeah, really good training. They're good courses we've been going to, and we're gonna continue to keep going. They've got some more this fall, and they usually have, well, they have always a bunch in the spring, but.
Motor grader, that's awesome.
Okay.
So we ought to have record of the,
Yeah, those can actually go in their files when
okay,
you guys are done looking at them.
yeah, cause we wanna know their training
Yeah.
and stuff. Be good. Alrighty,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yep, thank you guys.
Tell them and you, thanks for you shorthanded and continuing on till we can get you more help.
All right. Get that over here so that they can see you.
I don't know.
Kaia, you guys wanna come
Let's
up?
try this new thing out. See what-
Okay. They did say it was on, it's their number 3.
Okay. We're gonna try this out. I'm just gonna test this.
Kim, I didn't print a copy out for you, so you'll have to show it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Yes, you do.
When we get,
I have some updated copies I'd like you guys to look at.
thank you. Before we start, when we get ready, we'll have you state your
Oh, yeah.
names and stuff for the record.
Seems to be liking work.
What?
I got a wireless one like we're talking about. It's working.
Works good, huh?
I need to be up there, am I good?
Got one more chair up here, you just want to come up. We've got everybody on that needs to be.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Kaia.
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Good, how's it going?
Good.
If you guys hear an animal wailing in the background here, it's just a puppy that's very unhappy. I'm not abusing animals.
Okay.
Oh, sure, sure. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear that?
We can't, we
Oh.
cannot, so you're good.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, we'll have an introduction to everyone here, and then we'll have an introduction of you there. So go ahead, Kaia, and start us off.
Kaia Bowden, Rich County Recorder.
Mady Eastman, Deputy Recorder. Kim Wilson, Rich County Assessor.
Brian Johnson, IT Director.
Okay. Go ahead, Zach.
Zach Beck, UGRC.
Aaron Labasco, Sunrise Engineering.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay, so supposedly we're supposed to be going over this contract amendment and I'm supposed to lead it. I'm not sure why, because this was done without my knowledge or my permission, so I'm a little caught off guard on this one. But there's a couple of things I'd like to bring up because as of right now, I'm not sure I would like to amend this contract. On the papers that I have given you with this contract, I've picked through it with a fine-tooth comb, and everything that is highlighted are things that were promised and in the contract that are not currently being delivered on Sunrise Engineering's part. And I know they have stated that I'm not sending them any data, but I am not getting any communication from them to know which data I should be sending. And I know UGRC hasn't been getting data from me, but if you turn to after the contract, there is a screenshot from my GIS map that is hosted by Sunrise. Looks like this. There's nothing on there. I can't send anything to UGRC. The next page is a GIS map that I have created. You can see there's parcels on there. And that's what I've been working in because my Sunrise map has been down for over a year now. The second page from these screenshots are screenshots of my layers on there, and everything with a red exclamation point is inaccessible. That's what that is.
So Jerem, tell us where you're at with Sunrise.
I apologize. I'm a little taken off guard here by some of those things that Kaia is saying right now. I'm unaware that those things were happening, to be honest. And so I'm the GIS manager for Sunrise in general. And so have you been communicating with Christopher on that, Kaia?
I've been trying, but like I said in my email to you roughly a month and a half, 2 months ago, it's like pulling teeth trying to get a hold of him. And I don't have this in your guys's, but I have screenshots included of when I've tried to get a hold of him and it's not upside down, and have received no response. The last one being April 23rd. I finally got a hold of him and he said in order to get all this stuff back up, we'd need to move it to one of Rich County servers. And I talked to Brian about it. And he had a list of questions for you guys, and I forwarded those questions to Christopher. He said, I sent this on to our programmer, and I still have yet to hear anything or see any changes on my Sunrise GIS. That was April 23rd. I don't know if I specified that, I apologize.
I'll think or go back to some of that communication to see what's going on. I don't think I was ever courtesy copied on those. So like I said, this is a little news to me, and I obviously would apologize with what's going on. There was licensing changes that did happen on our side where we had to switch everyone over. This was an ESRI mandated licensing change because not to get into the technical details of the licensing itself, we were an application service provider at one point, which allowed us to post GIS data
from clients in our own kind of portals. And so Esri decided to go away from an ASP license, and so we had to migrate everyone to their own ArcGIS Online accounts. And in doing so, the parcel fabric setup that we currently had with Rich County needed, and that's probably what the communication was, that it needs to go to your own servers. And if there is a lack of communication on our part, then I will get down to the bottom of that. So that's kind of where we're at on the licensing side of things. Other than that, I'm not sure about what you're referring to regarding updating UGRC with information. I'm looking at the previous contract and I don't see something that says that we're supposed to
No.
send address information to them.
Previously, it was me, but I would get that data from the GIS map, and I currently don't have that data. And I had tried sending UGRC data from the map that I had created, and I don't remember if it was Zach or somebody else, but he said it wouldn't work. So I've been just kind of bumbling my way through that. So normally, under normal circumstances, it would have been me, yes, but I don't have access to that data to send to UGRC.
Okay, very
I
good.
think if I can jump in real quick, I think what happened historically was like Debbie Ames would maintain this address points and road center lines locally on her machine. And Kaia, those red exclamation marks that you're seeing, I'm guessing in your ArcMap project.
Not source.
Yeah, they're like chances are like maybe something was moved on a network drive or maybe moved locally on a hard drive. And chances are that data is still there. It's just, we need to repair those links.
Yep, you're correct. But I don't know how to do that because that's another issue is I've not been receiving the training that is promised in this contract. I can't get a hold of anybody. I'm supposed to have in-person trainings 1 day a month. I have not seen a Sunrise employee in Rich County since before Mathis started working for me. That's been a couple of years.
2 years.
So I'm doing the best I can with what I have to work with, but it's definitely causing some frustrations on my end and on everybody else's end as well.
So what's your plan going forward here, Jerem? Obviously we need to look into what's lacking, I guess, so to speak. What's your plan to move forward?
So moving forward, we need to discuss so there's two options here. One, Rich County can go and try to get a parcel fabric. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You can try to get, and it depends on the county and what Esri says regarding how much this would cost, but an ArcGIS enterprise license, which would allow you to have the parcel fabric, which is kind of what the setup was before. If that's not necessarily what you need to go to. So that, like I said, two choices. You can do that, which would be a more expensive license and be more infrastructure on the back end on your servers and stuff like that. Or you can go to a localized copy of the parcel fabric, which we would set up, and then we would set up an intermittent step. That's an automatic step to get those changes that Kaia would do in the fabric, and then push those to an online map for the county, website and those that need to access.
Yeah, why isn't it already done?
So
I'm kind of more inclined to go towards the second option, just because the license of an ArcGIS enterprise license is actually quite expensive. But again, I think it would be worth getting a hold of Esri and just walking through what that would look like on the financial side and what you would actually get with it. There's a lot of counties we work with that end up pushing an enterprise agreement. So there's two separate things here. You have an ArcGIS enterprise license, which is software, And then you have an enterprise agreement, which is lots of software combined into kind of one bundle for the county.
So I believe
Okay.
we already have an enterprise. I had a login for an ArcGIS enterprise at one time. I don't know if that was hosted by Sunrise and I was just given a login. I haven't had access to it since the server switch, so I don't know if that was just hosted by you guys and you gave me a login. But I did at one point have an enterprise login that I've been unable
So
to access.
that might be an RTS online login. RTS Enterprise is a completely different beast. It's more like an in-house server environment.
Right, and when I would try to log in, it did say enterprise, so I don't know if that's a difference between the two programs or not, but.
Going back to what I first was mentioning, licensing changes, that the Esri allowed us to use a sales authorization license for that went away, and so that's why Christopher was saying that we'll need to push that to your own servers because we cannot host that anymore. And so yes, it was an enterprise license, but the county itself does not have an ArcGIS enterprise license.
Okay, and that's what I was unsure of.
In fact, you basically have, and it kind of summarizes the licenses in our little meeting here, in meeting invite, but you have 4 creator licenses, and these are actually in ArcGIS Online. So go back to your original question. What are we planning on doing moving forward? So the amendment is about more of getting you guys set up to where you guys can have public, so your citizens, those that are in Rich County, and Kaia can actually have those changes posted to your public facing web applications. It allows them to go and look at public data, right? Public parcels. That's the whole point. That's what we set up originally, and then the licensing got changed.
It never got done.
There's a lot of training that needs to happen with that, and I need to go back and review the very first contract that we had. We had a few times, it wasn't monthly. There was a few times that we did end up going in person to Rich County to try to get the departments together to kind of further the GIS. But it wasn't as consistent like Kaia is saying. And I'm not sure if that was in the contract to do a monthly. If it was, then
Yes, it is.
It is, yes.
I need to go back and look at that communication. But
I have
moving forward, in talking with Annalise, sorry, I just got interrupted real quick.
Why wasn't this stuff being done?
Sorry, Annalise and I were looking at it and trying to get the contract aligned with kind of the contracting style of the amendment, right? Annalisa, we talked about what's remaining on the existing contract and any future needs to accommodate more training, so.
Yeah.
And any other
You don't even have the maps.
UGRC, what you guys expected addressing and parcel updates as well, right? We would help orchestrate whatever that looks like on an automatic basis.
Okay.
I agree with what Jared's been saying. Yeah, like I think it's worth the county looking into seeing how much it would cost to get like an enterprise license. But then once you have that, there's also like you're kind of on the hook for maintaining your data there, and it'd be one thing to get the license, but like Kaia and Kaia in particular are up to speed editing her parcels in the parcel fabric, and I think it's something you might want to look at, but like at this stage, like it's easier for Sunrise to do something like that, and especially if they're publishing your data into an ArcGIS Online account, that's super easy to set up so that the county can pull those updates and those layers into your own ArcGIS Online.
So I just have a question, and maybe I just don't know enough, but we have a contract for GIS already. And I'm just, because this conversation feels like we're discussing what a contract would be, but we already have one. And I'm wondering, and this is a question to everybody, is the contract being fulfilled? Like, is
No.
anything inside the
No.
contract being
No.
done?
No, we don't even have a map that I can access as the assessor.
I think you'd have to look in the contract just to verify, what Sunrise has agreed to maintain. Because, you know, they may, historically have been, I mean, yeah, they could be maintaining for parcels, but I don't remember the county ever using Sunrise to maintain address points or road center lines.
Okay.
Historically, we
That's-
haven't.
I don't know,
No,
my
that's what
outside
Sunrise was supposed to
perspective.
do.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to figure out if we're, you know, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I'm just trying to establish a baseline of what's supposed to be done at the moment. And then we can move forward and just kind of fix everything as we go. So maybe it might be a good idea to just look through the current contract and see what is going well and what needs to be addressed between now and the next commission meeting. It would be hard to amend something that's maybe not currently even being followed.
And if I can say something, this is Annalise up here, clerk auditor. I have noticed, I think there's just a disconnect on what is being understood with what the county believes Sunrise is doing and what Sunrise believes the county is doing. There's definitely a disconnect. So that's why I wanted everybody to kind of get together and have this discussion, so.
Well, I disagree with that because a lot of this is in this contract and it is highlighted. I've gone through and highlighted it, and a lot of this is not being fulfilled as of this time. And this is on the previous contracts, not the amendment.
True, but we've got Sunrise on with us right now, so we can talk about it.
Right. Well, I don't disagree with that part, yes, but.
So when we're talking, Jerem, when we're talking about a contract, we're talking about amendment 1 on, is that what we're working on right now, is amendment 1?
Well, we would go actually to the very, very beginning on exhibit A, January 5th, 2020, the very first contract.
You should have it in there, Bill. Go backwards a few pages. You're in the middle of it. Yeah, you're in the middle of it. Or yeah, is that the second page of it? Yeah.
Well,
That's the original one.
This is our first one.
Yeah.
on January 5th of 2023, correct?
Yeah.
That's the very first contract that we signed with you guys, and the very first scope item was getting the parcel fabric. So I worked with Debbie for years helping develop the parcel layer that you guys currently have. And the transitioning from Debbie to Kaia, there was a need to get everything in more of a, not just a GIS, you know, a local GIS database, but into more of a parcel fabric that's easier to maintain and use and it has the connectivity and all that type of stuff. And so we ended up creating, we converted that parcel layer that we currently had at the time, and then moved it into a fabric and deployed that, created a web application. We absolutely fulfilled item number 1, and it was being utilized, and we did several trainings with Kaia throughout, you know, the first year or so, and we're there as a resource for her with some of the more complicated deeds and meets and bounds, and use the budget to help with those more complicated ones. We deployed item number 2. That was our earlier AST license that we called our Sunrise Consumar GIS. We got that up and running. We had editors and viewers, and everything was established there. Maintaining the annual subscription you guys have been doing, item number 3, and then we have the remote and on-site training. It does, from what I can see, it doesn't say it's a monthly thing, but we did end up doing a few different trainings when we first got it up and running, to where we were being an advocate for Kaia, back in 2023, 2024. And then we did parcel fabric training and department training when we could get with other departments. And that was actually a really difficult thing to do, is to kind of orchestrate and get with other departments. We did go up there, I know Hilton was up there 1 or 2 times, and then Benjamin Smith was up there 1 or 2 times to try to orchestrate that. And then we go with, other county needs. This is why there was an allowance pool to be able to derive, based on just an hourly time and material things that we wanted to provide the county. Just more on-site, remote support. It does, I'm reviewing that right now. I think we did a pretty good job the first year with that. And then I'm not sure, I have to go to the next amendment, but it does orchestrate, some of this online and remote training. I know Christopher and Kaia were on remotely a few times. I could pull Christopher into this. He's not in the office right now, but other GIS department needs, possible, GIS projects that we can do for them, but nothing really kind of solidified to do some of that stuff. But that was also approved, right? So if Rich County wanted us to move forward with this, then we would move forward with some of these options. We did, in the contract, suggest an optional ArcGIS enterprise deployment, but that was decided to actually go with Sunrise's current licensing agreement with Esri, and so that one was kind of taken off the table there.
So why don't I have access to the map? If there's a map that's out there that's a web-based that people can get on and look at, as parcel layers, why can I not have access to that?
It's not like an ownership map like we're thinking. They just did a zoning map online.
Zoning map only, but like I said, we're trying to, I need parcel map. And when they come and met with us, the other departments, to try to figure out what we needed, they didn't do any training with us. They just they come up to see what we were expecting from these maps. And I told them multiple times, as the assessor, I need access to the map so I can see, I can overlay it over aerial photography, so I can see when parcels split, which parcel the house is on, where the buildings are at. And I don't even have access to any of that. And there wasn't one person come and try to train me on anything. They came up, I met with them 2 times. Once was down right there in the front of Eugene's office, the treasurer's office, and once was in Kaia's office. And I told them the same thing both times, and I still don't have it. And we're 4 years later, and I still I can't even access any maps. I have to walk down and try to figure it out. There's nothing online that I can pull up and look at. So I'm a little cranky about it, because I'm trying to do my job to the best of my ability, and without having the maps, I can't do that.
I would also like it to be noted that every time there was a potential department head meeting, we were given a week's advance notice. So I was able to communicate with the rest of the department heads that would be applicable for this. And so getting the department heads together wasn't always, there was a couple of times someone was gone, yes, but it was not really an issue given the advance notice that we were given.
And we're here most of the time. It's not like I'm gone a lot. So I don't know what maps are the web-based. I used to have an ArcGIS license to be able to look at stuff on the maps, not do anything with them, but look at, and I don't even have that anymore. So there's some, like I said, I'm very frustrated as a county assessor. I don't have the responsibility of hosting the maps or anything, but by now, Rich County should have maps online that we can tie to my assessor data that people can get on and look at and see, like most of the other counties in the state. That's what I was expecting, and that's not what I'm getting.
And when we had our initial meeting with the department heads, it was promised to us that we would have an ownership map online within 3 months.
Also, when I've been contacting Sunrise, what I'm getting from Kaia is we don't have it. I go to Sunrise, they say we have it. So
where is it?
Where is it? Cause I'm with them too. I was at that first meeting and that was my understanding is we'd have maps online.
And we don't have any.
So
As
where are the maps? If they're there.
So during the 23 contract, we were never, it was never put in there to where we would be administrators of your auction line account. In fact, we didn't even know that you had one. And so, you know, with getting, this, item number 1 is stating that, I'm sorry, no, yeah, item number 1 is stating a parts of your web application, that's will be provided through you through our hosting environment. But when the licensing stuff changed, we can no longer do that. And so the license, I mean, Kaia, you set up an Arches Line account a long time ago and we had no idea you even had one. And so all of the licenses and all the administration,
If you worked with Debbie,
that
you should
was
know that we had them.
in the Arches Line account to provide licenses to those within the department.
Actually, it was someone from Sunrise that helped me set up the online account. Cause I was unsure of how to do it and they had helped me on a virtual meeting.
So what do you guys need right now to like get going? Like what sounds like
An online ownership
I
map.
just
you need a
want
map?
my Sunrise map to not be blank like that right now.
Okay.
And I've tried discussing what to do with it, how to make it happen. It was supposedly sent on to the programmers, but I haven't heard anything since. I need access to this because
Okay.
this is what will be going online, not my personal one that I have created. That's my biggest thing is I need this to work because I've caught flack from Kim. She's come at me a few times. I've caught flack from the public. I'm sure you guys have heard about it.
Yeah.
But like it's not working and it hasn't been working. And I've asked like, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? How do we fix this? And I just get we're working on it.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is the map?
Where is it?
Can we not have access to it?
There's a source that's not, I, without getting into it and getting on your computer screen and understanding where the sources came from, I need to look at it.
Right,
I don't know where the data is without looking at it.
right.
And my assumption is that because it was probably more of a hosted service, that's either through your Arches Align account, it's not local anymore, it just needs to be repaired. I bet it's like a 5-minute deal where we can get your parcels looking at it, but if you have communicated several times without getting a response, like I feel like, and I one, I want to apologize that you're not getting a response. 2, I'm going to go back to my guys to make sure that our line of communication is in conjunction with what you are describing. And 3, I would love to be CC'd on every correspondence that we can so I can make sure that we're giving you guys the right service. Right now, you're saying you're communicating, and I've talked to Christopher and he says he's been communicating. And I just think we're like Annalise is saying, there's a disconnect here that I don't think either of us are aware of without us knowing, you know, with back and forth communication. It's not our intent to make this a very frustrating experience for you. We've worked with 5 other counties within the state doing this exact same thing, and so we're not trying to push you guys aside and saying, yeah, we'll get to you last. That's not how we operate.
Right, and I get that, I do.
And you and I, we've talked in the past, we've had great conversations about your GIS and getting things the way it should be, and there's been some complicated things that we've solved for you with really hard, you know, meets and bounds and deeds and all that type of stuff, and we want to continue that relationship. If there's something in this contract that we're not fulfilling, that's on me, and I need to be better at that, and I can coordinate with my team on that. If you need that map up and running, call me, call Christopher every day until you get someone, and then I'll get with them and say that can't happen anymore. You guys are our client, and we need to respect that. So I take full responsibility of this communication and this lapse, but moving forward, we want to make sure you guys are getting the most out of your GIS. That's our whole lot in life. That's our bread and butter. We love serving our clients.
So
How long for we?
What about as maybe as a stopgap? I mean, how hard would it be just exporting their parcels to a file geodatabase and kind of giving them, a file geodatabase of their parcels as kind of to hold them over until like all these things get sorted out?
I think we have that, right? I think it was an enterprise environment, and then we pushed it out because we knew this problem was existing. And so I gotta go back to Christopher and see where we're at with this, but that's a very easy solution.
So Jeremy,
Kim, that would get you put your parcels immediately so that you could start looking at them.
So Jeremy, is that gonna require somebody to come up and literally get on Kaia's computer and do that, or can you do that remotely?
You can do that remotely. We can do that today when we're on this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, easily.
Jerem, just so I understand, are those drives that are maybe not mapped correctly, do you host that data?
We used to.
Okay.
And so that conversation I apologize, I don't have access to what you're giving the commissioners, but the highlighted areas and stuff like that, I'd like to review those. But that's probably because of the licensing changes that we had to move on.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, we're in infringement of their licensing.
So I think the biggest issue that we're running into is the licensing changed. And I am still fairly new to GIS. I have a little bit of base knowledge that I can get myself in trouble with it, right? But the licensing changed, and I was never taught how to correct those licensing things, and maybe that's on me. I should have pushed harder to be educated like that. But I think that is the number one biggest problem we're running into, is clear back from the licensing changes. I was never educated in how to make those fixes. And I have asked about it a couple of times, but it's usually when we're doing something else, and I think it just kind of gets swept under the rug.
Understood.
So we are, in order for this to move forward, no matter what we do, are we gonna have to host this now, Jeremy, from?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Correct. Now, yes. There's a couple options if we can review those, yeah.
Okay, well, our IT person has some questions that about that. So, and I know that those have been communicated. So if he can get those questions answered so that he can figure out how to make this work, that's important, I think.
Yeah, happy to help. Which questions do you want to review those questions now or offline?
I have that Teams message with Chris I can copy and send to you that have those questions. I don't know if I explain them in detail enough on this, but I'm sure your tech guys will understand what I'm saying.
So let me back up. This is Brian, IT guy. When this gets done and the licensing is figured out, my big question is, will there be a map online for the public to see? That's a yes. And so
whether or not the parcels are updated current to date is another question. But yes, there is, in fact, let me, hold on.
And so like when you were hosting it before the license change, was that available? Was that map somewhere?
We just had the zoning map. That was
Oh, just the zoning map.
zoning's the only thing we have, which that's not helpful. That we need ownership.
The zoning is there.
Is somebody's chatting something?
No, well. I mean, we did earlier.
Currently, I remember Christopher telling me this, that the parcels that were hosted on our environment were moved over to your guys' Arches Line account, and there is indeed already an application that is servicing the public to see the parcels. It's there. Now, like I said,
Where is it?
when was the last time the tax parcels were updated? I don't know. I'd have to go back to Christopher with that. But it's looking like it was published back in July of last year, which is kind of consistent with our licensing changes. So.
Okay, so what was you looking at, Jerem? You say you saw the zoning map, so where did you see the other map with the parcels on it? And you,
So it's called the Rich County Parcel and Zoning Viewer.
okay,
It's just our zone.
And in the chat, I just put in the URL that you can click on. I can also share my screen if you would like. And that is a public facing web application. And again, I'd have to go back to my guys that whether or not they communicated that they built that for you, Kaia, I'd have to go back and look at communication. I don't know the answer to that, but I would assume that they would have. I mean, that's.
And are you hosting
something
that, or where's that
would have
hosted?
not made you aware of.
where's it being hosted then?
On your Arches client account.
Okay.
Okay.
And this
On
is the
county's organization account.
this is the one you can get to through the website where you can look at all of the.
That's just the zoning map. I think
Just
he's
zoning.
looking at something
ArcGIS is
different.
hosting it on some cloud. Okay.
Yeah, I think what he's looking at is something different, because we have a hyperlink on our website to the zoning map, but I do not have a hyperlink for what I believe he's looking at,
For ownership maps.
for ownership maps,
We don't
yes.
have anything
I
to
like how you call it a
connect us to
hyperlink.
ownership,
Sounds
it's just zoning.
That's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, most people just say a link.
Oh,
Hyperlink works.
I don't know.
So can you pull that up, go to the chat and pull it up?
Go to your website to see if there's differences in what's currently on there and what I just sent you.
I'm not saying it's never happened, but I don't remember them saying anything about an ownership map online.
I feel like if
I'm
it
not
was
saying it didn't
there,
happen.
we don't have links to it or anything from our website
Mm-mm,
to that map or anything like that.
cause I can't access it.
Is that under recorder? Is that under?
I don't know how to get. I don't
The
even know
zoning
where to
map
click.
is on the
Might be under planning and zoning.
Yeah,
Under planning and zoning?
Yeah, I just emailed you guys.
Just kind of a crazy place for it to be.
well, planning and zoning, it's a zoning map.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
they
what we
need it under
decided.
property too.
Yeah. I
It's
think we
it's
just
exact
decided
same.
there.
So the one on your planning and zoning website is the exact same one that I just shared with you.
Oh, so it is the same.
So it's just the zoning map then.
Yeah, it's not because you can't get ownership information off that.
I
So-
can't
type
get-
So
of-
Jerem, is it ownership or is it just the zoning map itself?
If you zoom in, the parcel starts showing. When you click on any of the parcels themselves, it actually takes you, you can say county assessor information. Can I share my screen? Let me share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm sending the request.
I gave him permission, so
Oh.
he's gonna share his screen.
Okay.
I can share it now.
Yep.
Okay. So I was in your rich, so this is your planning and zoning webpage.
We don't
We don't see
We
it.
don't see your screen at the moment. We just still see you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I clicked on my monitor and didn't hit share.
There you go. Yep. It's low.
Thank you.
There we go. We can see it.
Okay, cool. So this is your planning and zoning webpage, this Rich County Arches parcel map. Takes you to this. If you zoom into, so this is at a glance, you can kind of see the red outline within the zoning. And then your legend over here, Rich County parcels, and it's got kind of the red, it's really faint, it's hard to see. But if I were to zoom into, this area, you've seen all your parcels. And if I were to click on any one of these, you're seeing information about ownership. Notice that there's 3 different links in there. County Assessor information URL, Recorder information, and a disclaimer. If I click on any one of these, it should go to your Assessor page for more information. Now, there's also an option if you guys have, I'd have to do some research, but we could actually link the individual owner to this link, and it would automatically go to that particular page. But I'd have to look and see if,
Then we would just need to build our.
I have to look and see if, we can establish that link. But, sorry.
Out of my house.
But it is, the information is there. And I
Because
can
it has
see,
been updated.
the current as of
Is it just one?
October 28th, maybe that fits the timeline of, some of your communication back to Christopher. But it has been here
Cause yours should be showing your.
since Christopher reached out about the licensing change.
I guess it is, right? 'Cause it,
So moving forward,
we broke
and
off.
we do whatever we do to update it, it's still gonna be hosted here, that's what we're talking about? It's
Okay.
gonna be at our RIS?
Yep, it'll be correct, and we'll have like an intermittent part of this where when Kaia makes her updates, or if you guys are needing assistance helping with those updates, then we would do it on a reoccurring basis to where it would automatically push to this Rich County parcels layer, the latest and greatest. And our programmer is very good at what he does, and it would basically be kind of like a wipe and then push all the new data to it. And that would be done during off hours, so it's not gonna interrupt any type of, disruption to the public.
And if it's something that's scheduled like that and it's published to your RTS online, that's something that's easy for us to grab and pull into our data as well.
And we can provide you the REST endpoint if you wanted to do it that way. Like, there's a lot of options that we can provide you to get the data that you guys need.
So, Zach, is that gonna meet what we're lacking on your end there?
Yeah, I think what needs to be decided is what Sunrise is on the hook for maintaining, whether it's just your parcels or the parcels, address points, and road center lines.
Okay.
And if they publish any of those data sets to your RTS online, we can grab them, or they can give us the endpoint, and we can use the endpoint to get them as well.
Or if you want a downloaded copy of it, we can automate that too, like whatever format you need it in.
So technically, the Third Amendment that we are looking at would have Sunrise pushing that to use Act. Is that what we're talking about?
So, correct. So the amendments, like you can see, the amendment 1 and 2, that was to continue with the extra funding or allowance pool of budget that we accumulated from the first year, so 2023. The amendments allowed, the First Amendment and the Second Amendment allowed to continue to use the same funds and roll it over from year to year. That was the whole purpose of the amendments.
Okay.
Really, the sole purpose of the amendment is to continue to use the budget that we didn't use the whole way. And so the third amendment, which is the one we're talking about right now, I'm suggesting, because of getting up there and training more and doing more interdepartment, related GIS, is that, and I can't remember off the top of my head, Annalisa, what the remaining budget is that's rolling over. Do you have that with you?
I can look it up. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
A couple $1,000s worth, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm suggesting is that we want to integrate, we want to get all the departments using GIS, just like you're wanting to do. We want to get that more ingrained, and that's going to require a couple of us coming up there and getting with you and understanding your priorities and using this base layer that's been developed over the years, this parcel layer, as a means to do more things within the county, right? That's really our goal. And so I'm suggesting that we add a little bit more budget so all departments can use GIS. And each department, you know, the way we do it with Duchesne County is that each department every year comes up with what they would like with their GIS budget to do, right? And so we can kind of formalize, and you guys can understand, you know, so we can understand how to best serve the county. Right now, it's just been parcel data, right? And trying to get that up and running for Kaia in the best manner that we know how. And obviously things were dropped, communication wasn't done on our end for sure. And we want to solidify and make sure that you guys are getting what you deserve out of GIS. So, sorry, that was a little long-winded, but the amendments up to date have been just to roll over the existing funds to do more work with it.
So we have a
So
separate,
Jeremy, you said we have about 1,200 remaining on task 1, and then another conversation of that original 20,000. We have about 10,600 left on that.
Okay.
sorry, so we have a separate GIS
Or,
budget.
yeah, because we did an allowance kind of pool, right, for miscellaneous things,
Yes.
and stuff like that. And so it's just been kind of rolling over from year to year, which is why we did the amendments. To be honest, the first item on the 2023 proposal, you know, we didn't want to use the whole budget, even though it was kind of a lump sum amount, after we were finished, because we want to make sure that you guys are comfortable with what you have, which is why it's been rolling over.
So I do like that you rolled over the budget. You didn't just try to spend it, Jerome. And I like that you have tried to own up to any miscommunication, and certainly there's some on our side too. So you've handled that really well, and I appreciate you taking the time to show us this stuff. Sounds like there's a few things we need to still take care of.
Yep, and if there's any, like I said, Kaia, whenever you're available, let's get together and let's figure out why you cannot see your map.
What was your question?
Okay.
I just asked if we had a separate GIS budget. And we do.
Honestly, I think it's a pretty simple fix, because looking at this online viewer, it's probably going to be just repairing to where this online viewer is pointing. Right, the parcels in the layers in this online viewer need to point to your map. And that'll take 2 minutes, so.
Yeah.
So I've been working, since I haven't been able to view anything on the Sunrise hosted map, I've been working in my own map. How hard is it gonna be to transfer those changes between the two? Because I've made quite a few changes.
Okay. When you say your own map, where are you seeing parcels? Like, how did you edit the parcels if they're not sourced?
I sourced them from my ArcGIS map that Debbie had maintained, and I've just been catching up with those changes since then. Since we'd made the swap from ArcGIS to ArcPro, I kind of updated everything as it was. And I'm able to view the parcels, and I did add road lines and address points, which I don't think I've added to the Sunrise map yet. I've asked about that a couple of times, but I think it's another one of those, hey, by the way, can we do this while we're talking about something else, and it gets swept under the rug.
Cool. I think it would be good when we have our conversations to kind of follow up with emails on what action items we need to both do, right? If there's some action items that you need to take care of on our end or vice versa, I think following up with that kind of communication, so we have it documented, would be awesome. Sometimes, I mean, I am a culprit of this. I get onto these meetings and I'm going through things and I'm writing some hand notes, and then I go on to other things, and then the hand notes become buried. And so if we can get those more communicated through email and documented, I think that would go a long way. Regarding your question, if I can remember right, editor tracking is enabled, and so what we would end up doing is getting all of your changes from a certain month, kind of looking at the database and looking at all the changes based on that editor tracking, and then incorporate those into your online map and then source them, and then having one authoritative data to work with.
Okay.
So let's review that when we get on the phone, okay?
Okay.
Jerome, I'll send you my email, and if there's any, you can copy me as well. And we'll just make sure that we have really good communication on both sides.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
I have to jump off into another meeting real quick.
Thanks, Zach.
Before I leave, I'm driving past, the courthouse there all through July and August this summer, so I'm happy to pop in, answer any questions you guys have, help you with whatever you need. And likewise, if you guys run into any problems, you're always free to give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'll do whatever I can to give you guys a hand.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
won't be a stranger, and don't be a stranger either. Yeah.
Okay, Zach, we'll be in touch.
Yeah,
Thanks.
cool. Yeah, feel free to, CC me on any emails, if you guys need, the UGRC opinion or anything like that, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care, you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Again, Kaia and those that have felt a lot of frustration recently, not our intent, so I apologize for that, and I know you might have some things to talk about regarding the amendment and Sunrise in general, but we understand your system, we understand what needs to happen on the next level, and so just let us, for now, Kaia, let's get together and figure out why you don't have access to certain things, and then from there, we'll just be in touch.
Okay, sounds
Unless
good.
you guys have some other questions for me.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks
you.
for getting on.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Anyone else? Good?
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So that's good, productive.
A lot of the things that he was stating here has been promised to us either in person or via online meetings. No, it is not in the contract, but it was promised to us by Sunrise employees, so that's where a lot of the frustration is coming from.
Yeah, I just would not count on it if it's not in the scope of the contract. Sounds like, did you feel like, Kaia, that we're in a better spot to move forward now? Especially if you can pull your updates that you've done into the online map?
Yes, I mean, I do, yeah.
Okay.
I would like to see a change before I commit to anything.
Yeah.
Because.
Well, he's committed to make sure it's gonna work, so.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
And we didn't do an amendment. He wants us to do one, so.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Jerem because he helped us build our original GIS maps. Debbie had a lot of respect for him, so optimistically, I'm going to trust that he will do what he says he will do.
Okay.
But I just don't want to get stuck in another position like this where I do feel that we've been put on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah.
And because there's been some teams meetings that I've had with Sunrise employees where they're like, oh, well, our server died, like we're working as diligently as we can, but that's been over a year ago and I still have yet to see changes. So that's where a lot of the frustration is coming from, because I said, hey, I'm having these issues. Oh yeah, here's why we're working on it, but there's never any.
So let's have him fix your drive links today, while they're thinking about it.
We'll see if they
What
can.
does that entail? That's what we were talking about. That's what my question was.
Well, it was because on April 23rd, I'd had a Teams meeting with Chris, and he said, this can be fixed super fast if we can get you on your own server. I said, okay, let me talk to my IT guy and see what we would need to do if we even have a server available.
But that's a second step. We could have them fix the mapped drives, right, first, and then talk about moving it later.
How does that?
I don't know.
I don't.
Whereas
GIS,
The way that.
a map drive don't help the GIS.
maybe a map drive is the wrong word for it. Maybe there's some other thing that just
The way that it was explained to me is the link was going to continue to be broken until we had it on our own server or on an enterprise license. So.
Well, he sounds like he would take 5 minutes, so I
That's-
would just have him.
I
I would just have him try his best.
So the way that it was explained to me and the way that Jerem explained it is different, because he's Chris, the employee that I spoke
Yeah.
to most recently, said we would need to move this to your old server and then it would work.
Okay.
So I got the questions.
I would
from
believe
Brian.
Jerem for now.
But, I mean, obviously he was on our website and he said it's on our server. Is there something else?
What do you mean he's on our website?
Well, what he
The
was showing
zoning
was
map.
under the planning.
Well,
and
it's
zoning
hosted,
tab.
ArcGIS is hosting it.
ArcGIS hosts.
We
it.
don't have it on our server. Like
It
the link
is-
is there, but it goes to
It's
their
on the
server.
Right.
ArcGIS online.
Right, but do we need something additional than
Well,
that?
that's what I hear they're saying though, is that we somehow, two options, right? You get the enterprise thing and ArcGIS hosts everything at that point. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
understanding?
you just
They
log
host
into
Yeah.
them and do all the stuff on their,
That's what I'm understanding. Otherwise, if we keep it the way we are and she works on the maps
and
here,
just pushes updates.
our data has to be her data has to be accessible somehow. And so that's my questions were like, well, what does that mean? Because if, yeah, we can throw up another server, but then we got to open ports to it so they can come in and grab data, or what does those were my questions. What does that mean? We have to have another server, and what's on it, and what?
Well, and he said they're gonna explore both options, because the ease of having a cloud system that we just log into and send stuff to, and we don't have to worry about, denial of service attacks and things like that would almost be worth it. It's their responsibility, and then we can just log in and make the changes. But they said they're gonna explore both options, so I would let them do
It
it.
just comes down, I mean, literally, it just comes down to money at that point, because the more you want to do, like, the more you want to make it, like he's saying, every year we got this budget and we do more and more, and Kim wants on there to be able to show all the houses that have 5 bedrooms or something.
Yeah.
On the map, then
that'd be cool.
They have to program that, then is what I'm like, we provide the data, sure, but then they have to do their stuff on there, and I just don't, it's gonna be a money thing, and how much money you wanna spend, I think.
So do we still want them to come in today, or to get in today and fix whatever they say they're gonna
They
fix?
can
That would
fix
be
it in
great.
5 minutes.
That would be great.
Or at least bump into the wall, and so they can explain it to us, what's going on, since we're all confused.
Yeah, because the online map, I was told it was just a zoning map, which after he showed us, it is, because I mean, it has links to our pages, but that doesn't tell people ownership information, like legal description, and that's
Well,
what was communicated to us, and
that's
Kim
what
was in that
wondering
meeting as well.
Is if that's something we have to develop on our side.
Well, we
Like, cause
have
I
it.
was just asked, in fact, I kinda asked Kim, it's like, so then we would have to develop what's on our website that the people can access.
So-
Not just pointing to my freaking picture. or,
Right.
Whatever's on our website. But I also think as long as we're having this conversation, we need to update our website. Our website looks like it's from the 1960s.
I was actually just thinking that a few days ago.
Yeah, we need to either put out what are those requests for proposals, or RFPs or whatever,
Yeah.
and see if somebody
It's a WordPress site, we could update it. And
wants to come in and kind of
download it
maintain
easily
our
and we're good.
site.
Well, we-
Ann's nice, but
We have all
it's
the
just-
information to log in and do it, and I mean, unless anybody else has anything you've heard, she's told me that she's really wanting to wind down, I mean, I think she's just doing it to be nice, but.
She built it
and
on WordPress, so it should be easy to change a thing, make it look nicer, right? With the.
well, I don't know WordPress.
I logged
so-
into it and it looks pretty easy to do.
But if we had somebody that could do that on a, ongoing basis, that could just kind of update those sites or whatever, because right now we have to email everything to her, then she updates it on her side. Then we have to go in and make sure that it's updated on our website.
Yeah.
And so that to me is just a little cumbersome. It's like, why, I don't know.
We probably need to take, if she's winding down, we probably need to take whatever her budget was and just give it to Brian and just have them do those little updates if they want to, That type of stuff is just kind of tedious.
He doesn't want to do that kind of stuff because he is.
Websites are right-brained things, in my opinion. People want to see
They're pretty.
that they're pretty and stuff, and I am not
He's
that
not.
person.
He's not the pretty guy.
He's happy with the one we got, Kim.
Shut up, Ken. Let's keep moving forward.
So I do have one question. Where does Onyx get their data from?
From the state. So I
State,
send
that's
data
why
to the
we're
It
all
state.
comes from you, works its way up to the
Yeah.
state, they
Yes.
pull that data, okay.
Yes.
That's the
Because
problem, is
Onyx-
everything's behind right now.
Onyx pays the state for that data that we send them for free.
But the state, okay, got it.
Because I am supposed to do quarterly updates to the state, but
That's what
it's missing.
Zach wants.
And he wants address points, and I tried sending him I created a shape file from the map that I had created myself, and he was like, this isn't gonna work. So I'm like, this is all I got.
Yeah.
So those, because I don't have access to Sunrise's maps, like I have on that Sunrise's map right now, I have aerial photography, which is great. We didn't have that for a long time. And the voting districts. And the only reason we have the voting districts on there is because I added it at Annalise's request.
Okay.
So other than that, everything else is broken.
And Ann's budget's already in my budget. Just so you know.
Got it.
But one thing that I need to point out too, though, that needs to be taken into account here is I don't know if it is now, because I haven't done anything since Debbie was on there, but we integrated our database with that map.
Yes, we've done that on this one too. We have a geodatabase that houses the assessors.
So
the
what I'm
assessment
saying
law.
is if we move online with their stuff, with the GIS and mapping, and it's all online, we're losing the connection to our database, because our database is here local. So there is still something at that point that we've got to be able to do as well.
I think we could still create that geodatabase that would talk to each other.
However we need to do it. But that's what I'm saying. If we make that connection, if it's online though, we've got to open up ports and stuff that starts to get scary on our end of the night. I mean, not scary, but
yeah,
it's
concern.
more stuff we've got to do on our
It's a concern, yeah. Because the more ports we have open, the more attacks we could get from these stinking scammers and
More accessible.
Fruit Loop people.
Okay. We good? See what happens today, and
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy will do some follow through here.
I think so too.
And Jerem has been good to do follow through, because I did email him and I'm like, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of your guy since last year. And Jerem made it happen. So I do have faith in Jerem that he'll make sure.
I'm pretty sure.
So
If they want our business, they will. So.
Alrighty. Anything else?
I don't believe so.
Oh, thank you. Kim, you don't get to leave.
No, I get to stay. That's okay. Now that we're way over on mine and intruded, but it's okay. Kim Wilson, Rich County Assessor. I have personal property exemptions. We printed out 3 copies of the list for you guys. And then we have these that came in separately from some companies. So those are there for your review. If you want to review them and then make a motion and come with me, and then just get back with me.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to stay and bug you about it or wait till you look over that stuff.
Okay.
If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll wait to hear from you.
All right.
That's all I have. Anything else you guys have for me?
We'll drop these by when you're done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So it's more than just a swipe. So like it's an actual machine.
So, I've reviewed the minutes and also the expenditures.
Same, I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would make a motion, we approve the minutes for our May. I don't remember the date. May 13th. I knew it wasn't the first Wednesday, so May 13th. I make a motion that we approve those.
Second.
Moving seconded that the minutes be approved last month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay,
Look at these.
I'll make a motion that we approve last month's expenditures. for me.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
That wireless piece worked pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to transmit sound too. That was awesome. I'm going to leave the one side plugged in, Annalise. Where do you get this one from this train? If it doesn't connect,
Keep it in where I keep the HDMI.
okay, if you ever need it, you just plug it in, and you just click this button, make sure it's on whatever that screen is there, and it will connect automatically.
Thank you.
And then down with the.
Okay, I'd move that we approve the personal property taxes and exemptions that's been presented to us.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion, a second. All in favor say aye. Any against? Motion carries unanimous. Another motion?
We entertain a motion to adjourn meeting?
Yes.
Okay, make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Moving second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.